The beginning stages for Muskingum's presidential search are underway.
The Muskies girls soccer team fell hard on their home opener against the College of Worcester. And a new local band is sweeping the airwaves at Muskingum University. We have all those stories and more right here on the Muskie Daily. Hello, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Muskie Daily. I'm Kayla Rausch.
And I'm Brenna Busby. One student is injured after an alleged assault took place just off campus last night. New Concord Police Chief Trevor Hayes says a male student is the victim of the physical altercation that happened around 10:30 Tuesday night. The victim was taken to the hospital for medical treatment and has since been released. Hayes says the New Concord Police Department is handling the investigation with assistance from University Police. Initial reports from University Police stated the alleged assault occurred near the Memorial and Moore residence halls. However, the location has since been identified as an area off campus on the west side of New Concord. Hayes describes the location as being in the area of Coman Street. University Police are asking anyone with information about the incident to contact them.
After learning tonight's assault, some students say they'll be taking more caution while walking around campus.
That could have been me. Like, it's so scary of like how close of time I was outside and stuff. It just kind of like makes me want to be more cautious of my surroundings and like more observative about stuff and not to go out late at night by myself anymore.
It does make you like question the small town mentality of like campus, because things are kind of starting to happen that make it feel more not as safe.
Title IX training is back this year and is being enforced more strongly this semester. Amber Zisfel, Director of Student Conduct, says the Title IX program is designed to help a student avoid being discriminated against based on his or her gender. The program is mandated under federal law and students are required to complete the training. While there are no immediate repercussions at this time for those who don't complete the training, Zisfel plans to follow up with students who haven't completed the training and remind them to finish it.
The search for Muskingum University's next president has begun. The Presidential Search Committee is meeting today and tomorrow to begin the process of finding a replacement for Dr. Ann Steele, who will be retiring on July 20 of 2016. Hal Burlingame, chair of the Board of Trustees for Muskingum University, spoke about the process of searching for a new president and how the board plans to reach possible candidates for the position.
Out of all of these conversations, those are inputs to a process where we will look at that job description. And then we tell the world that we're open for business in a sense, and you advertise the job. And it's done in a lot of ways. Yes, you go on,
A survey was sent out during the summer to faculty, staff, and alumni council that addresses the needs of Muskingum University for the future. This survey was designed to help the Board of Trustees in regards to making a decision for the new president. Further meetings with the faculty, community, and officials and other small groups will also occur as the search for the new president continues.
Associate Professor of Political Science Dr. Richard Arnold received the William Rainey Harper Award for Outstanding Scholarship. Dr. Arnold joined Muskingum in 2009. He has published 7 articles in prestigious journals. One of these journals is the Political Science and Politics. Dr. Arnold has also published 3 book chapters, along with prestigious publications. Dr. Arnold has presented more than 7 conferences. He is an active member of 2 major professional associations. Dr. Arnold earned a bachelor's degree from University of York and master's and doctoral degrees from The Ohio State University. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the lawsuit against former OSU band director John Waters and the recent firing of the Cincinnati police chief. So keep it right here on the Muskie Daily. Ohio State University lawyers are being given an opportunity to question fired marching band director Jonathan Waters in his federal defamation lawsuit. The deposition of Jonathan Waters is set for Tuesday. The university fired Waters after an investigation concluded he ignored a sexual culture inside the celebrated band.
Cincinnati's police chief has been fired in the wake of continuing criticism over his policing strategies and leadership. The city manager, Harry Black, announced the firing of Chief Jeffrey Blackwell in a memo to the mayor and the city council today. He wrote that Blackwell hasn't provided the necessary leadership to ensure a cohesive operating environment within the department.
Chipotle is looking to go on a hiring spree today. The restaurant chain is planning to hire up to 4,000 new employees today as part of its National Career Day. That would increase Chipotle's workforce by nearly 7%. All new hires will be entry-level positions with an average pay of $10 an hour, plus a 401k savings plan. Chipotle's CEO says more restaurants are opening, but there are fewer job applicants. According to the Wall Street Journal, this has been blamed on things like a stronger economy and increases to the minimum wage.
It's one of those photos that has you asking, how did that happen? A pizza delivery driver landed his car on top of two vehicles. Kusami Aaron talked to the driver.
He told me he never imagined that he would end up here inside his car on top of two other cars that were parked right here. He told me he hoped his car would make a stop here at this intersection, but unfortunately, it didn't end up that way.
I was surprised because I was like, how does this happen?
Kyle Hinkle still can't believe his delivery run Saturday ended like this, with his car on top of two others parked at a local restaurant.
I'm very, very grateful. I didn't get hurt at all.
He had just dropped off pizza at a local business and was heading south on Blanding Boulevard when Florida Highway Patrol says an 86-year-old man tried to make a left turn and didn't yield. Kyle says he did his best to try to avoid being hit.
When I swerved, I thought, I was just going to be up in the intersection, and I looked, and I realized I was heading into the parking lot, and I couldn't do nothing about it because I couldn't stop at all.
Kyle's car kept going, eventually stopping in the Texas Roadhouse parking lot on top of two cars. Kyle says he didn't think he would end up here. He thought he'd be able to stop or maybe even hit a pole, but he says surprisingly there was no fear.
It wasn't really scary. It was just like how this just happened. Like it was hard to comprehend because it's kind of weird how you land on top of two cars.
While FHP gave the driver of the other car a citation for failing to yield, Kyle walked away with no injuries. The silver lining to an experience he will never forget.
I was pretty mad and then kind of scared at the same time. Because I thought I was going to be hurt, but I wasn't. I was totally fine.
And despite what happened here, Kyle said he is doing okay. He plans to keep working at 5-Star Pizza, keep driving, but he says he's going to be extra cautious when he's out on the road. In Clay County, Kumasi Aaron, Channel 4, the local station.
It's been unbearably hot and muggy the last few days. Will the rain ever come?
We will find out when we come back with the Muskie forecast after this break.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
Hello, I'm Kayla Roush, and here's a look at today's weather forecast. Tonight will be cloudy with a low around 64. Showers and thunderstorms should be expected. Tomorrow there will be a 50% chance of showers and a high of 78 degrees. Tomorrow night, there will be showers with a low temperature of 56 degrees. Now let's take a look at our extended forecast. Coming up next, we will have your latest in Muskie sports news.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
Muskingum women's soccer team had their home opener Tuesday, September 8th against the College of Worcester. The Muskies fell to the Scots 3-0, making the Muskies wait even longer to get their first win of the season. The College of Worcester led in the game 1-0 at the half. In the second half, the Scots striker Harper Jones capitalized on 2 corner kicks, heading into the first into the net and volleying just the second under the post to take a commanding 0 lead. The Muskies traveled to Illinois for the weekend of September 11th to 13th to face Illinois Tech in North Park on the campus of Illinois Tech. The John Glenn Little Muskies football team continues the first season of the Matt Edwards era this weekend, with their first road game of the season coming up on Friday at West Muskingum. The Little Muskies will travel over to Zanesville, still searching for their win of the 2015 when they faced the Tornadoes. John Glenn offense will have been stagnant to start the year, mustering just 7 points in the first 2 games. The Tornadoes offense hasn't fared much better, only putting up 13 points in their 2 games so far. Both teams will look to turn things around in the matchup, which starts at 7. It's going to be a busy weekend for Muskie sports, with 7 of the school programs going away from the campus for road action. The lone home event this weekend is the women's tennis match against Cedarville, which starts around noon on Saturday. Both the men and women's cross-country teams will be at Bethany Invitational on Saturday, while the women's golf team will be at Ohio Wesleyan Invitational the entire weekend. The men's team will begin their fall season at the Guy Kuhn Invitational at Allegheny College starting on Sunday, and the volleyball team goes back on the road for another tournament this weekend as they travel to the Rose Humlin Invitational Saturday and Sunday. The final team in action for the Muskies is the women's soccer team. The ladies travel to the Scarlet Hawks Classic in Chicago, Illinois, with the game slated for Friday night and Sunday morning. That's a wrap for Muskie Sports. But don't go away, because when we come back, we'll hear about a great and up-and-coming band that's from the area.
This is Will Mullins, and I want to encourage you to watch Chapel on Orbit TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Thanks.
Find out what decisions are being made at Student Senate that could affect your campus organization by tuning into Orbit TV on Tuesdays at 11 in the evening, and again on Wednesday through Sunday at 10 in the morning and 6 and 11 in the evening.
Orbit Media's radio station, WMCO, brings in new music from all over. One of the latest bands added to the collection are the Wayfarers, a local bluegrass band that has provided 90.7 with their latest album, Wild Bacon. Carissa Kent has more on the Wayfarers' music.
Fade out the audio, cue up the old Muskingum, and hit play is a common thought process for all the radio DJs that have played Old Muskingum by the Wayfarers. Recently, the Wayfarers sent WMCO their latest album titled Wild Bacon. This album has a total of 18 songs, and one in particular song that has caught the staff's attention is track number 4, Old Muskingum. This song brings together all the great attributes that makes Muskingum County a positive place to be. The Wayfarers mandolin player, Brandon Bankus, explains how even with economical progressions, there will still be historical aspects kept alive.
So the town and the whole idea of the river, no matter how industrialized Zanesville gets or how we progress as humans, like the river is the thing that's always there. It's always been there. That was the idea and the theme of the song.
Wild Bacon is the Wayfarers' 4th studio album, but the first album to enter into the WMCO soundwaves. This album and 3 previous albums can be heard online at thewayfarersband.com. The guitarist Josh Hartman gives us more details that can be given about the album.
It is our 4th studio album, brand new. This past summer has 18 tracks on it. Half of which are originals, the other half are the old standard, old-time tunes that we have always done and will always do.
For Orbit Media News, I'm Carissa Kent.
There will be a blood drive tomorrow on campus. The American Red Cross will be in the rec center from 10 until 4 in the afternoon. The Theta Phi Alpha sorority is hosting the event. That's all for this edition of the Muskie Daily. Be sure to pick up a copy of this week's Black and Magenta to keep up to date on happenings around campus. You can also tune in to our radio station at 90.7 Orbit for news, sports, and other special programmings. Have a great night, New Concord.